So I had this idea back in 2020 to start this business, and just recently, after 4 years, I started the business. And yes, it is a clothing store, which is where I am right now. So right now it's late, there are no customers, and all the amazing staff who works here has also left for today. What I want to share in this video is what happened in my last 6 years. Before that, my life was stuck. I actually wanted to do something in life. I always wanted to, but I never did. But then the last 6 years has been really amazing. I have been making more money every single year, and I have been learning new skills. I have been learning new stuff all the time, and it's just been getting better and better every single year. Don't take me wrong, I'm not a guru. I'm not here to share you my course or ask you to sign up for my program or anything like that. In fact, as you can see, I'm quite young. I'm in the experimental phase of my life, and I'm here to share with you the experiences I had in these recent 6 years, which I think will be really valuable for someone who is planning to start their own business, or who is feeling stuck in life and who wants to do something. Before I start sharing my lessons I learned in the last 6 years trying to do different forms of business, I will give you some insights on what is going on with the clothing store, okay? This is my first ever physical offline business. Before this, everything was online, everything was digital. The difference is that it takes a lot more money to actually start a business like this. This entire building is not rented, it is actually constructed just for this business. And you may think, oh, that's quite risky if it fails. No. Even if this clothing thing fails, I have a building, which means I can renovate it, make it into a restaurant or a rental studio. As long as I have this building, there are a lot of things which I can do. And the reason why I started a clothing store is because I actually want to own a clothing store. I want to have this brand which is sleek, which is cool, and it's just out of passion, right? Right now it's in the testing phase. I'm testing different styles and different target demographics. So we are targeting customers like lower-end customers who buy cheaper products and some high-end products, and I'm trying to find this ideal customer and ideal style. And when I get that, I will be branding this business by utilizing the skills I have learned doing Shopify, dropshipping, e-commerce, and all that. When that happens, I will be so happy to share with you people. So yeah, that's the update. The store right now is in testing phase, so I will not be sharing with you what we are doing right now. But when I started branding, when I started utilizing my branding marketing skills, I will be sharing with you, because at that time I would be the proud owner of this business. Right now it's just a regular clothing store, nothing to be proud of, except that I actually started it. So the first thing which I learned is that we need to learn to fail. Okay, so let me give you an example from my own story. I'm not going to make anything up. It's not from a book or what I read. Everything I'm going to say in this video is right out from my life, okay? So when I first, this was in my early career, when I first started doing online stuff, one of the first things where I was successful is Fiverr. So Fiverr is a freelancing platform, and when I was successful there, a lot of my colleagues and friends tried to replicate it. They want to be successful in Fiverr as well, but they weren't, right? And then later, when I was finding my success with Shopify, the same thing happened. A lot of people try to replicate it, but they can't. And some people call me lucky that I was successful with this. Some call me I'm talented. The thing is, they miss out one point, right? I tried so many things before I was successful with Fiverr as well as Shopify. Before I tried Fiverr, I tried Upwork.com, which is also a freelancer platform, and also freelancer.com, if I remember correctly. It's a blue and white logo, something like that. So I tried both Upwork and this freelancer, and I failed. And then I came to Fiverr, and it doesn't work out immediately. It was only after around 1 year of trying it, it worked, right? And then what most people did is they just try to replicate my success in like 1 month. They just think that they will sign up and they will start doing these gigs and they will be successful. They just didn't see the part where I felt Upwork freelancer and had to be patient waiting 1 year to be successful with Fiverr. Same thing with Shopify, right? It's not like the first store I launched with Shopify was successful. I had this print-on-demand store, which is actually a dropshipping store, and we had sales, we had customers, but it wasn't really, profitable. It was, but like more like a break even. And it's not just one store. I felt many Shopify stores and I had my success, later. But then these people think that, oh my God, this is successful with Shopify. Let me just start a Shopify store and they can't replicate the success. And they think I'm lucky. They think I am talented. See, the takeaway here is that you need to try a lot of things, right? It's not about you just start something today and it's gonna work, right? So if you have tried maybe 2 or 3 different ideas and it failed, it's not because you are unlucky, it's not because you are not talented, it's just because you haven't tried enough yet. I will tell you one thing though, you might feel like failing in a business is losing both your time and money. No, it isn't. There's no such thing as failure. It's all a lesson, right? So failure equals lesson. So when I was failing this Upwork, before I got my success with Fiverr, this Upwork, when I tried to make it work, I was learning valuable skills like copywriting in order to make my gig more eye-catchy, engaging, in order to convert, in order to convert the viewers into clients, right? So I learned this copywriting thing while I was trying to make Upwork work for me, but it didn't work. But later I used those skills to make this Fiverr work, right? And then for Shopify as well, when I was failing with my first stores, I was learning store design. I was learning which type of design works, and I was learning how to add sticky add to cart. I was learning how to, do email marketing, all those kind of stuff as I was failing these stores. And later, when I implement all these skills and knowledge to my new store, that's only when it worked, right? So the idea here is to try new stuff, new stuff, new stuff. And then if it fails, you just move on, right? And when you fail, it's not because you are not talented. It's not because you are unlucky. It's just normal to fail. That was the strategy I have been using this past 6 years of my life. And recently, I just watched a video of this rich guy from Shark Tank. Here's the video.
What advice do you give to like a 20-year-old that's just starting out in business?
Don't chase rainbows. You can drown in opportunity. Find one thing, do it well, or fail. Fail quickly and go on to the next thing.
See, as you can see, he literally said the idea is to try and fail and move on, right? So that's what I've been doing these 6 years. And this was me before I watched his video. And to be honest, I watched his video just recently, like 4 or 5 days ago. And as you can see, this is actually the right way to actually grow in life. But you should know one thing, all right? You shouldn't give up very early. When you try something and it's not working, obviously it's not going to work when you just start it out, right? So you have to try to do different things. And if it doesn't work, then you should move on. So the first lesson, my friends, is to try and fail, to try and fail, to try and fail. And here is not actually a lesson I learned, but something I just want to say because I see a lot of people, my friends, my colleagues, they will ask me, what to do, what can I do? That's what they say, right? What business can I start? They say that they can't start because they don't have this, they don't have that, they don't have the resources to start this business, they don't have the assets or the tools to start this business, right? What if I tell you it's not about you know and then start, but it's about you start and then you know. You are not supposed to know what to do. You are supposed to do first and then know. If you are to know what to do, then that would be a very easy life. Let me give you an example from my own life, right? So this clothing store, as you can see, I didn't know anything about fashion. I didn't know where to find suppliers. I didn't even know which softwares to use for invoicing. I didn't even know there are different types of printers before this. Right now, there are 3 printers in the office right now. One is for printing price tags. One is for printing the labels, which is used to be scanned by the scanner. Let me show you. Alright, so as you can see, this is one of the printers. So this is printed from a printer, which is actually called a level printer. And there is another printer, the third printer, which is used to print the receipt, the invoice, after the customer makes the purchase. And I didn't know any of this when I first started out. I just figured it out along the way, and it is normal, you know. So I had this friend who reached out and he said, what can I do? What can I do? And then I said, just start a YouTube channel, talk about stuff you know, what you do, and hopefully he will learn to edit videos, you know, he will learn to edit pictures, you know, they have to create thumbnails, and then they will learn affiliate marketing because Amazon affiliate and all that, right? Then he said, I don't have a camera. That's called an excuse. You can start a YouTube channel from your phone, right? And this is not just about YouTube channel. I am saying this for every form of business. See, tell me, okay? Tell me one thing which you want me to do, all right? And I will come up with at least 10 excuses why I shouldn't do that. Or maybe 100 excuses why I shouldn't do that. It's easy to come up with excuses. Whatever idea or business you have, there will always be excuses which you can find. Let me tell you this. 6 years ago, before I started any of my business, you know what I had? Two things: a smartphone and an internet connection. And that smartphone costs around $150. And if I can start it with just a $150 smartphone and an internet connection, I mean, what's your excuse really? You can really do many things with the resources and with the phone, the internet you have. Some people might think that I have rich parents, that my parents are rich or something like that. Let me tell you, my friend, no, my parents aren't rich. I don't come from a rich family. See, when I was growing up, my mom was making $10 a month, okay? And my dad was making around $15 a month, and this is in rupees, all right? So I'm converting this to dollars to let you know. And we didn't even have a car, not like a broken Honda or a broken Hyundai. We really didn't have a car. My grandfather didn't even have a car. The first car in my family was actually bought by this guy right here. And this man started out with a $150 phone and an internet connection. So if you're wondering what I did with the $150 phone, it is video editing and photo editing. So I use apps like Pixart, Pixabay, Snapseed, and for video editing it was KineMaster and InShot. If you have internet connection, you can watch a lot of stuff, learn a lot of stuff, and there are a lot of things which you can just do with your phone, right? I mean, if you're willing to, there are a lot of things which you can do, but if you are not willing to do it, then like I said, it can be the most easiest thing, but you can always find 100 excuses why not to do it, my friend. So yeah, this is not a lesson for me, but this is something I really want to say because, you know, a lot of my friends and colleagues will always ask me, what can I do? What can I do? Really, Matt? Just go ahead and try something. Just go ahead and fail many things, right? Here is another lesson I learned, and that is, it takes more time and money. Everything in life, everything you plan for, it's going to take more time and more money than you expect. This entire business, which we have right here, the clothing store, I actually thought I could do it in 2 years, but you know, as you see, it takes 4 years, right? But, all right, so this is the interesting part, my friend. Even though it takes more time and money than you think, the satisfaction, the happiness you get from achieving it is far more than what you expect. What I'm saying is, if you expect to make 1 million, it's not that you will make 10 million. What I'm saying is the happiness and the joy you get from actually achieving your plan far exceeds the expectation or what you have in mind, right? So it makes you feel so satisfied, like something inside you feels so satisfied when you actually manage to bring your plans, your ideas to life. When you're starting out, you might feel that you could do something in like 1 or 2 months. You can make a lot of progress, but it will take longer. So I just want to let you guys know that it's normal, and that's something you will experience because beginners think they can do stuff, they can do a lot of things, right? But then reality hits you, and it's much harder than you expected. Every single thing is much harder than you expected, but with your fighting spirit, with determination, with hard work, you will eventually go through it. And when you get it, the satisfaction, the joy you get, that's something you will really appreciate it, my friend. I will be working hard. I will still be experimenting with my life, and I'll be sharing my ventures, my knowledge here on my YouTube channel. I may be smart, I may have solved some problems, I may have done some business, but I just don't have the wisdom yet. Wisdom comes from decades of experience. I've been in business for like 6 years, so I don't have the wisdom yet, but those are my thoughts for today. Those are my thoughts right now for 2024. It may change, but I have to say I don't regret any decision I made, and I'm in a much more happier, satisfied position than I was. That is it, my friends, and thank you for watching my video. If you're watching till this end, I love you, man. So yeah, that's it, and see you in my next video.